On November 1st, 2013, Tim Nance came home from work and began to have a fight with his wife, Eve. The fight soon got physical as Eve was sick of Tim cheating on her all the time. Tim, being angry over the accusations again, pulls out a gun and points it at Eve. Eve lunges for the gun and a struggle begins. During the struggle, the gun fires twice and Tim Nance falls backwards into the tub. Tim Nance is now dead, and this is the story that Eve told police. However, the story that Eve is telling is not aligning with the evidence that the police have collected. Here is the real true crime story of Tim Nance and the Killer Sisters. Welcome to Murder Monologue, where we take a full true crime story and tell it in 10 minutes or less. My name is Josh, and let's begin. Timothy and Eve Nance met in grade school at the age of 16. Their relationship moved super fast, and they actually moved in together at the age of 17. They were still in high school. Shortly after they moved in together, Eve was pregnant. In August of 1994, when they were both 18 years old, Eve was 7 months pregnant with their child, and this was Tim's first encounter with the law. Eve was out walking the dog close to home when she noticed she was being followed by a stranger. She continued to walk and then started to run and finally got home. Tim was waiting for her in the house. Eve told Tim what was going on, so Tim grabbed a gun and went to confront the person who was still in the yard. An argument broke out in their yard, and Tim ended up shooting the perpetrator in the leg. This landed Tim in jail for 8 months. This incident also sparked Eve going into early labor where their daughter Tamika was born. By 2002, Tim and Eve are in their late 20s, and everything is starting to change at their house. Tim is actually going out and partying a lot and is also known around town as a ladies' man. There have been several rumors that Tim has been cheating on Eve with multiple different women. Eve found out about multiple affairs that Tim was having and decided that they were going to try to work it out and salvage their relationship. However, Tim could not keep anything straight. He was continuously going out and partying and always cheating on Eve. Eve decided to stick around in the relationship, probably because of their daughter Tamika. Obviously, it's not because of Tim, because he is continuously cheating on her. So there is no reason to stay with this guy other than your daughter. One affair that Tim was having with Eve was with a coworker of his named Karen. At a Halloween party on October 26th of 2013, Tim and Eve were out at a bar and Karen actually showed up. This caused Eve and Karen to get into a big fight that night, and Eve threatened Karen and told her to stay away from her family. 5 days later, on the 31st, Tim and Eve were having a nice evening together, sitting on the couch watching movies. Tim, for no apparent reason, decided that he had to go to the store to get some snacks. What Eve didn't know was Tim was actually receiving text messages from Karen during their movie. Karen was saying that she was in the hospital and she needed his help. So Tim actually dropped everything he was doing and went to the hospital to go see Karen. Eve, not being an idiot, she realized that Tim was gone for several hours when he said he was going to be going to the store to get snacks. So she actually looked through his phone that night and saw that Karen was texting and that he went to go see Karen. She then took Tim's phone and sent a text message to Karen saying, "Hey, I'm gonna go have relations with my husband right now. There's no way you're gonna get him." The next day, November 1st, Tim went to work and started talking to Karen. Karen brought up the text message that Eve had sent from his phone the night prior, and Tim was pissed. He did not realize that Eve grabbed his phone and sent this message. After Tim was able to cool off a little bit, him and Karen actually made plans to go out to dinner that night. Tim just said that he had to go home and take a shower, and then he would meet Karen out at the restaurant. That is the last conversation Karen ever had with Tim. Eve called the police 4 days later to tell them that Tim was missing and she hasn't seen him since November 1st. Police immediately got to work trying to figure out who the last person was that saw Tim. Eve told police that she actually talked to Tim the morning of November 1st before he went to work, which is around 5 o'clock in the morning. Eve said she then went to her sister Tina's house around noon. She then spent some time with her sister. They had dinner and then went to the Dollar General around 7:30. Police were continuing to go through everything with a fine-tooth comb when they actually received a tip from one of Tim's best friends saying, "Hey, I talked to Tim at 4:17 November 1st, and he basically told me that he was going to be going out to dinner with a few friends, but first he was going to hop in the shower, and that's where their conversation ended. Tim's friend then gave the police his phone records to actually prove that he talked to Tim at 4:17 p.m. on November 1st. This tip actually led investigators to start looking at Eve even more. They knew that Tim was at home at 4:17 because he was going to be getting into the shower after talking to his friend. Police decided that they were actually going to start looking at Eve a little bit more and focusing in on the bathroom area. So what they did was they actually went to Eve's house, knocked on the door, and asked her to come inside. They then asked if they could look around, and Eve actually gave them permission to look around. What they saw when they went into the bathroom was a tiny little hole in the ceramic tile of the shower. This hole was fairly consistent with a bullet hole. Police also noticed that there was a strong smell of chemicals or like a rubbery smell, and they thought that it was because there were new shower curtains that were just hung in the bathroom. So they found that very suspicious. All of this information actually led police to take Eve downtown and interrogate her. Since everything was so suspicious, during the interrogation of Eve, police actually got search warrants to search the rest of the house, and they also called in the crime scene investigators to start digging through all of the belongings, and especially looking at the bathroom where they found the bullet-sized hole and noticed that the shower curtains were brand new. About 2 hours into the interrogation, the person conducting the interrogation got a knock on the door. As the interrogator stepped outside, he was told that they actually found a bullet in the drain of the tub. This was a huge break in the case. The interrogator pretty much assumed now that Eve had something to do with this, and she is covering up a story. Eve finally started talking after interrogators brought her sister Tina into the mix. They basically said, hey, we think Tina was involved with this somehow, and we're going to figure out how she was involved. This basically scared Eve enough to confess to the original story that I told her, where her and Tim got into an altercation. Tim grabbed a gun. Eve then fought Tim off a little bit, tried to get the gun away from him, but the gun went off. In self-defense, she killed Tim. After she had killed Tim, she said that she was scared, so she wrapped Tim's body in the shower curtain, took him outside, put him in a car, and drove him away. The interrogator was not buying that story at all. He continued to question Eve, asking her how she got Tim's body out of the shower by herself. Interrogators continued to press her until she finally said she knew where Tim's body was. Eve then led investigators to Tim's body, which was about 40 miles south of Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, where this whole incident took place. Tim's body was found on a dead-end road, completely naked in a tree line. Immediately, there was an autopsy done on the body. The autopsy uncovered that the cause of death to Tim was actually 2 gunshot wounds to the head. This piece of information was exactly what investigators needed to arrest Eve. Her story was not lining up whatsoever with what they were actually being told. When they told Eve that information, she confessed to everything. She basically said that her and Tim got into an argument about Tim cheating again. Tim then decided that he was going to go take a shower. Eve was so upset that she grabbed the gun, pulled the shower curtain open, and shot Tim twice in the head, killing him instantly. She then wrapped Tim's body up in the shower curtain, took him to the car, and drove him to the dump site. Investigators still didn't believe that this was the whole story, so they pushed her even further. They thought that Tina was still involved somehow. They were able to prove Tina's involvement when they recovered the phone records from Eve. Police were now able to piece together the whole story and had the evidence to prove it. Tim and Eve did get into an argument the night of November 1st. Tim came home from work around 4 o'clock. He told Eve that he was going to be going out to dinner with a few friends. Eve obviously knew that wasn't true. She knew that he was going to be going to see Karen again, and they got into an argument. Tim then said he was going to go take a shower around 4:17. That's when he called his friend and talked to him for a couple minutes. Tim then hung up the phone with his friend and got into the shower. Eve was so furious with the argument that they just got in, and knowing that her husband was going to be going out to dinner with his girlfriend, that she actually actually grabbed a gun and pulled the shower curtain open, shot him point blank in the head 2 times. In a panic, she called her sister about 5 times in a row. On the 6th phone call, her sister Tina finally answered. Eve was frantic and told Tina that, hey, I just killed Tim. You need to come to the house and help me. They wrapped Tim's body in the shower curtain, brought him out to the car, drove him about 40 miles south, dumped his body on a dead-end road in a tree line. They then drove to the Dollar General around 7:30 and bought new shower curtains and hangers. Police had all of the evidence they needed, so they actually ended up arresting Eve and Tina. During the trial, Eve was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years. Tina was found guilty of helping Eve move Tim's body as well as obstructing an officer. She received 2 years in prison and was released in 2017. All right, everybody, that was my 10-minute or less true crime story of the Killer Sisters. If you're still here at the end of the video and you haven't liked this video or subscribed to my page, help me out. Just do it.